Our next story is all about the palliative economy, because a video is trending online from the comedian and skit maker Stanley Akpos, also known as Mr. Sim Card, where he decries the frequent practice of giving out rice as palliatives for Nigeria's biggest challenges. In the clip, he calls out the government for turning the country into Ricegeria, with other skits emerging online in the same vein. It was a very ricey day on social media yesterday. Let's take a look.
There are no roads. Give the rice. There's no light. Give the rice. There's no water. Give the rice. There are no hospitals. Give the rice. There's no schools. Give the rice. There's no security. Yakubu, give the rice. Rice answereth all things. Ricegeria. There was a country.
Everywhere hard. Hospital bill. Life is very hard for us. I don't know where to start.
Mama, hospital bill. Life is hard. Collect rice. Mama, your problem is solved. Solve your problem.
Collect rice. We have to laugh, but we have to laugh because the response we've gotten so far. I understand that some governors are trying to work out modalities to see how they can follow the example made by Sheyi Makinde, but no palliatives though.
What's going to be palliatives? Okay, so the truth is that where's the lie told there in what the comedian has said, and I think it's just a sad reality of what we have become, a nation that is placated with so little. And at some point watching that video, I was thinking, okay, who should be blamed? Should it be the government, the politicians who have weaponized poverty, and so that a lot of people are willing to sell their birthright for 5,000 naira, or in this instance, a bag of rice, just because if you can give me something to go and feed my family at home, then I'm okay for now. That's one. Then there's also the low expectation of the people in terms of what they expect from their leaders, or the dividends of good governance. And so you see people like this who have been almost indoctrinated to imagine that once you can give rice, you saw that person, I can't remember, last week where we showed a video of one of the city boy movements, and the lady was like, her whole family will vote because she got free things. If only the people can be educated as to what is due to them as citizens, based on the trust given to our leaders in positions of power, to give back to the citizens' infrastructure. It is said that give me fish, I'll eat for one day. Teach me how to fish, and I will eat for life. That is the problem we have currently in Nigeria, where we solve surface problems, but we don't deal with the substance. And so number one is that the people have to be educated. They have to know their rights as citizens, and they have to know what is due to them in terms of entitlement and inheritance from the Nigerian state. If we don't educate the people, they'll continue to be satisfied with a cup or a bag of rice in substitution for what should be education, healthcare, good roads. That's what people should be demanding. Then the other part is the government themselves not to weaponize poverty, because if we keep pushing, come election period, they will still give rice. The rice will still cause people to go and vote for some certain people, and that's quite sad. And that's why we must continue this civic engagement, civic education. People must understand their rights and demand more from their government.
You deserve a bag of rice.
Rice.
I've been buying. They should give you rice.
I want good governance. Give me education.
I don't buy the rice, but also give me good governance.
I saw some bags of rice around here.
No, rice is good.
The distribution was discriminatory. So go ask for your rice. Give them rice.
Maybe we should ban giving of rice and anything for anything. Since Nigerians like to ban any rice giving. But people will come for me by saying that give them rice and give them good governance.
But people should know to ask for more than rice. And
You can't pull an economy of people out of poverty by infrastructure alone. You can actually be doing infrastructure that is not contributing as much as... If you want, there's the development indices that creates a future. Invest in education. Invest in health. Invest in pulling people out of poverty. Before you talk about physical infrastructure, you have to deal with the human infrastructure, the people. Chile is about one of the countries with what you can say assets that is so valuable. Do you know what Chile has? Just human capital. And with that, they have a per capita of over $14,000, which is 7 times our own. Chile, human capital. Invest in that first. Don't go and start saying you're doing this, you're doing this.
Okay.
Our debt to GDP ratio today is 33%. Egypt debt to GDP is about 80. We'll go and read the various reports of development agencies, including World Bank. They say that Egypt debt is sustainable because it's been wisely invested. Because look at it, they borrowed money to deal with Siemens to generate power. So everybody know, every Egyptian know where the money went. They borrowed money to put into critical areas. The consequence is that in 2014, Nigeria was #2 investment destination globally.
Now it's not invested.
We're not invested now. Egypt, that used to be 6 or 7, is now #1. We used to get more money from diaspora remittances than Egypt. Today, we are down to about 22 billion. Egypt is hitting 30. What are they doing? And again, you don't see the president of Egypt running all over the place. This is what I'm saying. You stay in your country and look at these things that, just like when Ruben talked about taxes. Go and look at the countries that where we're talking about tax, even them don't have. If you go to Indonesia, I'm looking at countries with huge population. For example, with 260 million, their tax to GDP is still 11-point-something%, but unemployment is below 10. They have to borrow money. Bangladesh, a country cannot compare with Nigeria in 2010. I was there for 1 week. I was just rushing to go home. I said, go there now. You will see what the unemployment is below 10%. Egypt that I mentioned, now unemployment is below 10%. These are the critical things. They borrowed money like us. Even Ghana. Ghana's borrow in the past few years have been over 200-something%. But look at the growth in Ghana. Their growth has been over about 6% on the average. Which means they are throwing that money into the right places. Your borrowing and your growth have not been able to even match your population growth. So that money that you borrowed, where is it? What did you use? And you're borrowing more. I've given you an example. This first 6 months of this year, we use about 90% of our revenue. In fact, more than 90% to service debt. And you're borrowing more. And nobody is convinced that this money we are borrowing, this is what it is. They say it's for various projects. Don't borrow for various projects. Borrow for one specific. If it's power that we have not been able to move beyond 4,000 in the past 10 years, let's borrow money and throw to it.
They say railway lines, infrastructure.
Let me tell you, I argued about infrastructure before and said you can't pull an economy of people out of poverty by infrastructure alone. You can actually be doing infrastructure that is not contributing as much as. If you want, there's the development indices that creates a future. Invest in education, invest in health, invest in pulling people out of poverty. Before you talk about physical infrastructure, you have to deal with the human infrastructure, the people. Chile is about one of the countries with what you can say assets that is so valuable. Do you know what Chile has? Just human capital. And with that, they have a per capita of over $14,000, which is 7 times our own. Chile, human capital. Invest in that first. Don't go and start saying you're doing this, you're doing this.
Okay.